Oh, that's not what it's supposed to do.
Wait, was that me?
Why is my mouse frozen? Did you click something?
I did click something.
No, you were supposed. Oh, you goofed it. I had it set to automatically change the scene. You're supposed to let it run to its. That was the whole point
I
of
didn't
waiting.
know.
The
Okay.
whole point of making everybody wait the full 5 minutes was to see if it actually changed to the next scene on its own.
I didn't know it would pop another scene in there.
This is even with the hiccups. This is still leagues better than Riverside FM.
Dude, look, this one is already
I mean, just for the fact that we can do this and pop that dongle in there.
pop that dongle in there, baby. And you know, he who comes with the wine is really excited to be a Patreon people. And you know what? If you want to be a Patreon people, you really should. It's a great time. We have a lot of fun. We take care of our Patreon peoples.
You know, I'm new here. I don't know
anything because okay, so like with the other ones, you could just click stuff and surf around while we were going. I'm scared to touch anything right now.
Same thing.
Because I don't want to mess up like I just messed up the scenes.
The one thing, 5 minutes of waiting for Josh to click add scene.
Right, actually, I did too. It was right then.
Right, you gotta grab that part of the video. We gotta grab it and just like make that like a short or something. That's perfect. But yeah, we can have tickers. We can have a lower third text. So you can have a primary text here and secondary text here, which is optional and added in, and it pops up just where all of your comments do. The only thing I wish it would do is I wish it would show everybody's lovely pictures from YouTube. Oh, it does.
Josh
I'm
needs
dumb.
A lot more than just a tech assistant. Josh needs just a life assistant.
I am dumb. It shows the pictures. That's great. So far, Restream seems pretty cool, but you didn't necessarily come here just to listen to what we think about Restream. Oh, I got scared. I thought it threw another public link for this stream into our Discord like it did earlier. No. That's Way of the Leaf with Kari. That's Kari posting her stuff for Way of the Leaf. All right. Kari almost gave me a heart attack. Well, she'll never hear this because this is full spoiler. Well, she won't hear this for a while. Anyway, if you want to become one of our fancy supportive patrons, go on over to blacktowerpod.com. Oh, wait, sorry, that's not the spoiler for this. blacktowerpod.com, and you can find a link to one of our two merch stores, New Creations by Jen, or you can just go to newcreationsbyjen.com. Help out some fantastically friendly, lovely, and very supportive and talented Wheel of Time fans that are also making a lot of merch for Wheel of Time fans and other Wheel of Time content creators. Get all your fancy stuff there. I may or may not know for a fact that there are 12 different content creator themed Frosty mugs, and then a couple more in the Randland souvenir series.
There's a whole selection.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like, somebody from What a Holiday just won all the drinkware they're gonna need for like probably the next like 10 years easily. But go and check them out. Tell them the Black Tower Podcast sent you so that they can go, who? Oh, yeah, those guys. They're weird. But anyway, for this episode, we are not alone. You may know this guy. You may have occasionally seen him on all fours at WatCon. You may have seen him with his his wolf dream wings in the form of Elijah Craig running around the lobby of WatCon. It is one of our friends that we love the most. It is Wolfbrother. Hey, Wolfie.
Hey, guys. Happy to be here. I completely forgot about it was Angel's Envy, right?
Angel's Envy. Yeah. Yeah, with the wings.
These things happen in the wolf dream.
Bruh, there was a full bottle. Wolfie gave us all a little bit. It was a full bottle. He made one lap around the lobby, came back, bone dry. man was making sure nobody was thirsty.
That's what wolves do. They take care of their pack.
I got you guys. Always a pleasure.
So what's up, man? How are things going? How's
Things
life?
are good. This is a special occasion. I'm happy to be here. I also am a Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm breaking out Das Boot.
Das Boot. Das Boot. Das
So,
Boot. Das Boot. Das Boot. Das Boot.
things are good though. Things are great. Not digging going back to work after the holiday.
Look, my first day back was yesterday, and that hurt.
It hurt, right?
Today hurt. Today was
You guys
the
got-
second day, and it still hurt.
You guys got more than just the actual holiday off of work.
So yeah,
I was off Christmas Day and I was off New Year's Day. So I don't want to hear it, Josh, whenever I get all these other federal holidays off and you're like, oh, look, you get all this time off, you never have to work.
Look, we have the factory shutdown, right? So they give us the day off between Christmas and New Year's. So I worked Monday before Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Eve was Tuesday, and I took a holiday for that. I took the day off for that. And then I didn't have to come back until January the 2nd, which was a Thursday. And my normal schedule is Monday through Thursday. And there's no way I was going to work Thursday and then come back after the weekend. So I just took Thursday off too. So I took a lot of time. It was nice.
That's fair.
My Bermuda Triangle week was...
I can't complain. This past year, I managed to use 93 hours of PTO in a job that is only supposed to give me 80 a year. So jokes on them.
Jokes on them.
Anyway, that's a nice boot, Wolfie. I like it.
Cheers.
Remember to twist it at the end. Don't let the bubble get you.
Right on.
Okay, so tonight's episode, it is going to be very spoilerific. We are going to be discussing things that are so spoilery they don't actually exist in the books. We're making them up on the fly.
Mm.
That's right. It's a theory episode. It's a theory episode.
I'm going to give Wolfie, you get choice of spoiler warning. Choose a number 1 through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 through 10.
With 10 being the most spoiler?
No.
No, they're just numbers of spoiler warnings. They're all going to be full spoiler.
7.
Well,
Did that
Oh,
number
look at
surprise
that.
you?
I mean, no, not necessarily. But here's some more love for more shoddy and a little bit for Josh. Well, I don't know if it's love for Josh.
Welcome to the Black Tower, a Wheel of Time podcast. All right, let's check here. Okay. This podcast episode will be spoiling books 1 through... I mean, let's be honest here. Whatever Josh lets slip. So how about you pull that spoiler condom all the way on? Anyway, quit your whining. The last book came out in 2012. He was actually a ghost, and Rosebud was the name of his sled for creator's sake.
I got the puppy. The puppy has joined. You want to say hi, Lumen? Hi.
Something about the wording of the ticker previously annoyed the crap out of me, so I had to change it.
Well, I didn't notice, so you did good.
This episode is full spoiler. It just doesn't sound right. Sounds weird for some reason. Anyway, we're going full spoiler.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Full boring into the abyss. What's the matter? Afraid to get wet? Elaine looking at all of her handmaids when she's about to hop in another bath.
I'm all pruny.
Anyway, today we are going to be talking about the Ogier and the Finn.
Dude.
And there may be a bit of a fight or not with Wolfie. Look at that fantastic kilted referee. Look at that. Yeah. The funny part is, since I have the logo on the stream, it looks like I doubled up the logo on the thumb. There we go. Looks a little bit better there. Looks a little bit better there.
Love
The
it.
Ogier and the Finn. So this episode comes from a while back. I'm gonna move this to the right because this is covering up that fantastic "Draw Me Like One of Your French Girls" poster, kind of. Anyway, a while back, we were doing an episode on something else. It's only a couple weeks ago, and the idea came across that what if the Finn and the Ogier had interacted before, and within that, potentially, what if they were actually enemies?
So
Like, what if part of the reason the Finn only exist in Sindal and don't seemingly come into Randland is because thousands of years ago, but long, long back in human memory, maybe even long back in Ogier memory, the Ogier stepped in to save humanity from the ravages of the Finn, and that's why the Finn are regulated to Sindal. And that was kind of the idea. And we were like, that sounds cool. Don't know if we can talk about it for an hour, but we can bullshit pretty well. So let's try it.
Okay. First off, we got to establish some canon, right? So the Finn and the Ogier, I think if it's not like official canon, I feel like we can say pretty certainly, based on inference of some of the context that's been answered by Robert Jordan and other people at Team Jordan, that they're both aliens, right? They come from a different planet. Our interaction with them is a result of galactic and quantum exploration by channelers in the really
so
good
there was a Q&A with Maria Simmons, and then there was a newer Matho by Lunkers in June of 2010 that confirmed that the Ogier are from a parallel world in much in the same way that the Finn exist in a parallel world or parallel worlds. So it's like yes and no, but it's like don't think that like they came from like a couple galaxies away in the same universe. They came from like much in the same way that the Shan have like they're more exotic creatures that came from the parallel worlds. The Ogier have come from parallel worlds, and the Finn exist in a parallel world. So they're like.
So you can't.
I guess you could call them like interdimensional travels, kind of thing.
Yeah, you can't hop on a rocket ship and travel to the Ogier planet. You have to get a portal stone and travel between parallel worlds, right?
So then here's the question. Does that mean there are no other planets in Randland? Everything is just a different parallel world of that same world?
From what we know in the books, yes.
Is it? I mean, because in the books, they frequently talk about looking up at the starry night sky. And plenty of the stars we see in the sky are stars, but there's definitely several that aren't stars. They're distant galaxies that are just, that's the light we can see from them collectively. Like, oh God, imagine how expansive the species of the world of Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time could be with a potentially near infinite, if not infinite universe with a potentially infinite number of galaxies and planets. And then there's a parallel world or parallel worlds in other dimensions.
So I'll just say this because Rebecca posted it in here. I put it up there and I'm putting it back up. It's very Cosmere. And I'm going to say I would not be surprised if Brando Sando was very much inspired by this sort of interdimensional interaction. And that's kind of some of the inspiration for the foundation of the Cosmere.
Yeah. Selena Lanfear does. Yeah. Now, the thing about the portal stones is the worlds that Rand and Celine and Loyal and Huron and all go into, they're not parallel worlds necessarily, they're mirror worlds. And from the same Q&A with Maria Simmons and part of this MAFO by Lunkers, all of the worlds they went to in the Portal Stone incident were mirror worlds. Meaning you would need something other than a Portal Stone to go to the Ogier portal world, parallel world. So it means that there would be a distinction a distinction separating the world that we are familiar with, mirror worlds that are different variations and similar to it, and then completely separate realities in parallel worlds, which would explain like why the Ogier have to open the book of translation, presumably to change what parallel world or dimension that they're in, and why you have to go through the redstone doorways to get to the Fin.
It would also explain why they need to be in a steading.
So, like, steadings are areas from their world that they bring in, and they can only live in their steadings. Once they step outside of the steading, you're basically stepping into Randland. Like the steadings are
what if
little.
it's like
It would be like scuba
little-
diving, right? It would be like
Think
the
of it like
same as going
terraforming,
into the
yeah.
ocean.
Yeah, like a terraforming.
It's like a small bubble of like a small terraformed bubble.
Yeah.
And on their parallel world, channeling doesn't work. So when you enter their area, channeling doesn't work.
Or it's dangerous and they know how to block it with their terraform barrier that keeps it from leaching out.
Which is a tree.
Yep.
They grow it.
Yep. You thought you needed these fancy Angreal and all you needed was a good fucking tree. We're over 20 minutes, so apparently YouTube won't hate me. Yeah. Your wood's not strong enough here, Randolph.
Okay, so we've got Ogier who have come down, have traveled to Randland by mysterious means. They've brought bubbles of environment of their own dimension with them, which are the steading. And
would explain why they're singing too is such like nobody knows how it works ability. Because it's presumably regarded as a bit of a talent, but a talent that only occurs amongst the Ogier is probably how Randland looks at it.
Capital T talent?
Yeah. I think it would have to be a capital T, because I don't know, because they talk about, like, Loyal talks about practicing and training, and that he's not very practiced in it, and that's why he doesn't view himself as that good of a tree singer. Or is it just kind of a lost art for them?
Incredibly humble, though.
Who's to say that capital T talents don't transcend mirror worlds? Right. We've established that channeling is a part of Randland because it doesn't work inside the steading. But these capital T talents, which seem to not be linked to channeling, could be universal in all mirror and parallel worlds.
I like that.
Which singing would be one of them.
Yeah. So I know we both clicked the same comment. I know they sang with the Ogier, but did the tree singing of the humans actually function the same way that it did with the Ogier? Or was it the Ogier were singing with channelers, and a combination of the channelers using the one power and the Ogier tree singing is how they came up with things like the Nim and all?
I think
I can sing with other people and not have the same effect. That's my question. Is
Nim are
the humans singing? Are they singing together just because it's a ceremony and they're joining them, and they're just singing along, or does it actually have an effect? And I don't know that we get that answer in the books.
So is like Nim a product of the Ogier singing and that talent, and then channeling?
Well, we know that
Nim
is a construct of the light. We know it is not a creation of the creator, right? So it does not have a soul. It is a construct. It has like a temporary path to life.
It may not have a soul, but I still cried.
Well,
yeah. They have like artificial souls, and they're living constructs.
Yeah.
Would you like to kill some evil? Sorry, wrong book.
Would you like to kill some evil?
I don't know.
Okay, so we've got the Ogier. They're very gentle unless they're pushed, and then they can be absolutely wickedly violent and amazing in every way. And I love
So
that.
what if the whole, because there really hasn't been anything talking about why the Ogier would have left their parallel world in the first place. So what if they clearly have the ability to somehow travel between parallel worlds. The Finn exists in a parallel world, and there's an ability to create a passage between other parallel worlds and the world of the Finn and Sindhal. So what if the reason the Ogier left their parallel world is because they were like invaded by the Finn or something like that?
What if they lived in the same world and the Finn pushed them out?
Ah.
The sit
And
if
that's
I
why the world looks so like depressingly dead now because they pushed the Ogier out of Sindal.
if I recall from the books, when you look out the windows in Sin Hall, it's just a forest
A forest with other towers, yeah.
with 3 spires, but it's a forest. So I don't know, like Ogier live in a forest, like a whole planet full of trees. Now I'm definitely I don't even know if that's the right word, extenuating what we're seeing in this world, but
Mm.
it's
We're
basically
making a lot
towers
of
and trees,
assumptions
right?
about some stuff. We have to.
So
Yeah.
maybe they lived in this world full of trees, forests, and then these spires of which where the Finn live, and the Finn finally pushed them out.
I got one even better.
Sure.
I got a theory that I just thought of that I actually really, really love. So we talk about Age of Legends and how everybody knows what they're doing, yada, yada, yada. Well, Loyal has similar legends about how the tree singing used to be so much better, and this used to be that, and that used to be this, and those used to be these. Well, we know that in times of great crisis, the Ogier pull out the Book of Translation and do what they do with the Book of Translation. Now, it's pretty widely theorized that the Book of Translation teleports them away. But are they lost explorers? And the Book of Translation is the only way that they can move, and they're looking for their homeworld. And maybe their homeworld is, like you were saying, Wolf Brother, the Sindal, where it's all forest and trees and whatnot. And it's not even necessarily that the Finn kicked them out, but it's that they are lost and they can't get back. This I love because it makes it that much more tragic that all they would have to do is go through the redstone Tirangriel, the door Tirangriel, and then they'd be home again. And that's messed up.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the description of the trees again that Matt gives in Towers of Midnight.
The Book of Translations is an object that was received from the foxes, which transports the Ogier.
So at some point in time, the Ogier like went through the and spoke with the foxes.
Yeah, and through the foxiness of the foxes, they gave them this book because they needed help, and the book gave them help, but it also ended up transporting them. And so not only are they lost, but they're purposely lost, right? Like,
Because it's the monkey's paw rules.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just trying to riff off of what you're going because I like that. I like that it's not even just in Randland that they are always searching for their home, right? They're always searching for their home, and every time they pull out the Book of Translations, whatever transpires, they end up leaving that planet or whatever they're on, And going to the next one or some other one.
And that's what makes Tarmangaiden so significant, because rather than leave, they made the choice to stay and fight, which we can say, you can have two different perspectives on that, right? You can say that that was incredibly noble of them, or you can say that it doesn't really matter because it's the turning of the wheel and they were destined to do it anyway. I personally like to believe that it was noble of them, even if it was the turning of the wheel.
Okay.
But, I mean, eventually they're going to have to leave, right?
All right, so I found the description of the trees. So the window looked out over a canopy of dense vegetation that was too yellow. Matt recognized the wispy trees with a drooping umbrella of branches at the top, though before he had seen them from below. The fern-like trees with their spreading fans of leaves were familiar as well, though those had deep black fruits hanging from them now. The large fruits caused the leaves to droop.
So,
Everything's yellow.
what the coconut trees, whatever they're called, palm
Palm trees?
palm trees. Is that the
Was that
dead
it?
palm trees? Brown fruit, coconut,
Oh,
or banana trees. I don't know.
Yeah,
No.
because it says it caused the leaves to droop.
Yeah, it's gotta
And
be
the coconuts, like they grow close to the trunk. They don't really grow out like on
Oh.
the leaves and branches, I think.
But the
the
leaves are
coconut
heavy
tree.
and
Yeah.
umbrella-like, so they always do weigh down.
Yeah.
I mean, it could also just be huge trees.
Yeah. It's just like the like Mesozoic era or some like super ancient era with megafauna. And it was all yellow.
And it was
Yeah.
all yellow.
Kind of like the
But-
snow outside the back door.
Heyo.
Hey, when the power goes out, man, sometimes you got to make executive decisions.
Sometimes.
But
you
no,
do.
I really like this idea of like, because one, it gives an origin to like why the Ogier would have an experience in combat beyond just what they may have experienced previously, like during the breaking and during the first like War of the Shadow. It like adds more depth to them having this seemingly kind of built-in hardiness for battle.
That was me. Sorry.
Yeah, how dare you? Which I like, and it ties in like this bigger overarching fight. I don't know about bigger necessarily, but I don't know. I love like linking Sendhall either as like maybe the home of the Ogier. I mean, because you know, there's this kind of like fantasy cliche trope, especially in like RPGs or real-time strategy games, where you have like a faction that has always been pretty militant, and as long as you did what they said, they left you alone. And then you had this other faction that was generally peaceful and wanted to always do nice things and help people out. But eventually they got pushed too far and either had to run away or they fought and then they lost the fight, so they had to run away. So
Yeah,
I kind of feel like there's a good chance that happened here, but I don't know how much of it would have been, because given the way the steadings are described, it doesn't seem similar enough potentially to the vegetation described in Sendal for Sendal to be the origin planet of the Ogier. But it could have been the last parallel world they were on. I mean, there's always that thing, like, we'll never know like what caused them to leave their first parallel world.
And
Unless,
it could be
you know,
that's just how the plants on that parallel world are supposed to look.
yeah. I mean, it could also just be a thing where, like, you know, maybe we're knocking on something and Harriet or Maria or somebody has like a folded envelope that says like open in case of people linking Ogier to the Finn.
I like to think that Robert Jordan was on his deathbed and he passed an envelope over to Maria and Harriet. And they said, "What's this?" And he said, "The Black Tower will rise. When the Black Tower asks of the Ogier, open this letter."
Also, what
When wolves
if
come to play?
what if the odd clothing that the Finn wear are potentially remnants from their battles with the Ogier, not just the random scraps of humans that have found their wayward way through the redstone doorway. It's probably both, or it could be both, but
I mean, you got to think about all the people that have visited Sin Hall through the door
All of
frame.
them? How many have actually visited though?
If you make a door frame, you got constant visitors.
yeah. I mean, you got to look at how many different people Matt gets the memories of. Every one of those people he gets the memories of had to visit Sindal.
Sure, but even if
How
it's
many
like a
times-
couple hundred people in 3,000 years,
You still
And-
see a lot of different clothing lines.
but most of
Wait, what if the Finn are what happened when the Ogier give completely over into like their anger and violence?
okay.
That could be a cool way to kind of look at it. Like they become a corrupted husk of their former selves, given over into their own desires, and maybe it's very loose, but
They
Yeah,
had
it
it
was-
could be a
wonderful world, and the Ogier came and fucking grew trees on it.
Wait. No, we need to do this now.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a
The
bear.
Finn, the Finn are the victims, and the Ogier are the aggressors. The Ogier
God.
showed up one day, and they were like, "Oh, I see your trees are very small.
And yellow.
I will sing to your tree to make it bigger." And then we're like, "I like my trees the size they are. Thank you very much. I don't need you making my tree bigger." And it was too late.
Oh,
I don't need no
you're
Ogier-
giving the
brown.
Ogier. You're giving the Ogier the Perrin story arc, where they used to be the big badasses that were taking everything down, and then like they come to Sindal, they wreck the Finn. They see the links that the Finn are pushed to try to survive, feeding on the emotions and sensations of humanity through underhanded trickery, genie wishes. And they feel so bad for what they've done that they swear to their own version of the way of the leaf. And the thing they ask for is like, we will leave the Finn alone and leave your realm. The only thing we ask is that should we ever become sufficiently peaceful enough and wish to return home, you give us the object that we can use to come back home. And that's where they get the book of translation from. That would be a cool side story if that was how it worked.
Well, now I'm thinking because now I'm going back the other way because I think in like the Ogier are so slow.
Oh, did you just
and,
show
like,
this one? Oh.
Are so slow and like not hasty, and they don't emote
Bunch
as
of dudes on this
violently as
channel.
humans do. And so like the Finn are like, we can't feed off of this shit. Like get off our world. We want something else that's more fulfilling. Right? Because I mean the Ogier do have sprints of it, right? But really they're a very subdued peoples, and so
I forgot about that
the
part.
Finn can't feed off of them as well as other life forms.
I forgot
Okay.
about some of these things. Like I forgot. So Wine and Rebecca. I don't know if you already showed these because I wasn't reading whenever you were. They pointed these out. All of the first of Maine went through the redstone doorway.
Yep.
Wine makes a fantastic point here that Leia echoes agreement with later on about so many people went through that they made games about it. So, which is a fantastic point. Yeah, it's definitely more than we're talking about. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Some of the shit that I throw out there is just trying to make an idea that sounds cool enough to give enough credence to like my headcanon that other people are like, yeah, that sounds really cool. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
You want to
Okay,
say
it's a
it, you
psyop.
get that letter from Harriet.
I got it. I got it.
Bro, if I got a letter from Harriet, I don't care what it says. It could say, shut the fuck up
Look.
or else. And I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna frame it out of frame. And every time I go to talk about a theory episode, I'm gonna look at it and be like, this could be the last one, boys.
The biggest content creators out there all at some point in time got a cease and desist from Team Jordan. So if I got a cease and desist, I would frame it and keep it.
We were
forever. That
just
would be-
we were just fortunate enough to LLC
Loophole.
early enough to where if they do cease and desist us, our private assets are safe.
Yeah.
That's the only reason it exists, to make sure we privately are safe.
Okay. I had this thought. You guys ready? We're looking at this all wrong.
Yeah.
It's not Ogier versus Finn. It's that Ogier and Finn are symbiotically linked. Now, wait a minute.
Like Venom.
Their emotions are not a lot unless they're pushed to it. Okay, cool, great, whatever. But also, what do we know about when Loyal's in the mirror world and he sings to the tree to make a weapon, and he says that the tree was glad that he made a weapon? What if it's the emotions of the plants that the Finn had been sustained on, and the Ogier were sustaining the plants, and as a result, they were in a symbiosis? The reason all the plants are yellow on Sindal is because the Ogier left. The Finn have been feeding on the plants, and there's not been any return sustenance, and that's why the Finn have turned to feeding off of any desperate human emotion that they can get, because it's literally their only source of food.
I always thought the tree was glad because we jokingly determined, I think was it WatCon that we did this? Was it WatCon that you and I did this during our recording there, that we determined, or was it the Gathering Madness that we determined that mirror world was actually just the testing grounds for Lockheed Martin Skunk Works?
It was at WatCon.
Yeah.
Because that was Innkeeper Hatch said that he really, really loved that.
Yeah. That all the straight burnt beams in the ground were just, their Star Wars satellite program. Like, no one would be crazy enough to put weaponized satellites in space unless.
What if we just didn't do it in this dimension, guys?
Yeah.
Guys,
these treaties we have, like the SALT 1, 2, 3, 4 treaties, those only apply to this specific world, right? Everybody at the table at the UN started getting very nervous. What do you mean this world? Oh, like Mars, or Mars 2.5 or Earth 762. Like the DC universe. Think that.
How many more parallel universes do we have, guys, if we ruin this one?
See, leaves are yellow because they have a blue sun.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't have any indication that the Finn have traveled from their respective worlds, but we do have indication that they have built gateways or portals or means of welcoming travelers to theirs, right? The Twisted Door Terangrial.
Well,
so again,
that's about. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so again, sort of a similarly seeming habit that's different enough that, two people inhabiting the same world of different cultures might have two different solutions for traveling and sustenance and, whatever else they deem necessary. But this would also explain why the Ogier have the Book of Translation, because the Finn can make Terangrial quite easily.
So, and that's like an opposite between them, right? Like the Ogier can't ever go home, but the Finn can't ever leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a real like opposites, push and pull, side-in, side-ar kind of relationship here between these two.
You kind of go through a bit of a barrier into their little section of the world here, but you go through a doorway to go into a completely different world for the Finn. So there's a little bit of, tit for tat there. Wherever that phrase comes from, I don't even know where that phrase comes from. You think I would by now?
Tit for tat?
I would hate to think it's part of the old barter system, and that's how people used to get tattoos, but, Mardi Gras is a thing, so.
Tit. Now I'm interested.
I'm looking it up. It is believed to be an alteration of an older phrase, tip for tap, which means blow for blow, and is thought to have originated in the mid 1500s, with the earliest recorded uses attributed to English playwright John Hayward. Tap, both referring to a small blow or hit in this context.
I really like my blows large. All in.
I wish I had enough real estate for a large blow. Like, mine's one of those whenever they talk about watch out, she's gonna blow, it's like the whispering wind.
There is other things that we're not taking into account though, and that's that we do have confirmation that the Ogier and the Finn are not the only other living beings interacting in Randland from another world. Right?
Wrong.
Do we?
The Shan Chan beasts are from another aren't they from a parallel
Well,
world?
they're from a mirror world from the
they're
portal
from
stuff.
yeah, I thought does it. Well, that's what's
Yeah.
And at some point in time, the Shan Chan.
But it makes
Well,
sense
then
because those creatures have similarities to like creatures we know of in our world, but they have differences as well. Like some of the creatures they talk about, like when they're in the circus, I forgot what they call them, but they're clearly elephants. I
Oh,
believe.
the Shreddit?
Yeah, like they're clearly elephants, but there's other creatures that they talk about. Like, who's to say that? Like, I mean, I don't really remember the description super well enough, but who's to say the Rockin' and Saw Rockin' or whatever, all the Rockin' aren't like freaking pterodactyls or some shit? Thanks to Jurassic Park. The real people that saved New York, they came in and captured. Yeah. No,
so
pterodactyls.
Tarakan are dinosaurs.
Oh.
They're the fossils
They
that
can
we
fly.
find in Age 1.
Yeah.
They're the fossils that we took to that one Pokemon scientist guy that we gave the fossil and he gave us a Pokemon back.
And
Yeah.
And you're like,
Omastar.
cool, that's a thing I did. This guy sucks. He was
Okay.
great in the TV show, but
I need a time out here because my 7-year-old watches Pokemon. I don't know what the fuck he's watching. It is not Pokemon. There are only like 150 Pokemon. The crap that he watches, I have no idea. What are they?
151, sir.
151. You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
right? I don't get it.
What the fuck is a Pokemon trash bag?
Dude,
I don't get it.
Literally
Rant
called
over.
Shrubbish, I think.
Rant over.
Shrubbish or rubbish? Rant. Well, I mean, how long did it take? Like, it was like, what, just a couple months ago that Ash finally beat the Pokemon League? Like the Elite Four? Like, the
He
dude's
didn't do
been
it
10
with,
for longer than most people that have watched it have been alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got Shan Chan animals. Let's go. We've got Grolm,
Sorry.
which are like three-eyed bear pig things. We got Torakin and Rockin, which basically look the same, but one of them is supposedly bigger. Sreddit, which are obviously the elephants. Torm, which looks like one of those things that General Kenobi was riding in Episode 3. We've got
Rockin' kind of look like dragons?
No, they look like pterodactyls.
They don't.
Yeah, they do.
I love how like I was the one that was like, oh, they look like pterodactyls, but I mean they do.
No,
Yeah.
I got into look. I got into this argue, and I fought so hard to say that
They have a
were
body
dragons.
longer than a horse's, but about equal in girth.
Snakes and foxes needs a shout out here.
What snakes?
Ash is every employer's dream. He's a 10-year-old with 20 years worth of experience. Bruh, facts.
And you only have to pay him as a 5-year-old. Yeah,
Actually, you can only pay him
Child
under the
labor
table, and he
lawyers.
better be thankful he has a job.
that's
pay-
right.
You pay him in Pokemon.
Okay,
Oh,
real
it has
quick.
two
Tanner.
sets of
I'm
eyes.
so sorry.
If
Who's
I'm
to say,
an
who's to say
HR
these
person-
these animals are not Pokemon? I really
No,
need
they're
to get
not.
off this train. I'm
That's
sorry.
you know what? Now
It pisses
that's
me
where
off.
my headcanon is. The Sean Chan
sorry.
animals are just Pokemon.
Team
They're
sorry.
the Sean Chan are the inspiration for Team Rocket.
Rocket are just Sean Chan in a different universe, sending animals back to Sean Chan.
Just show up and steal some like child's freaking thing like for the Empress. May she live forever. Fucking
it's
Ash is like, what are
why-
you fucking talking about?
It's why they don't just show up and take your shit. They have to be all extra about it, and they have to be like, "Oh my god!" They got their big intro,
Bruh,
and I can't remember.
Could you imagine fucking Soroth showing up? Prepare for trouble. And
Make it double.
Double.
to protect the Empire from devastation.
to unite
all lands within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To denounce the evils of uncolored channelers and extend our reach to the Saharan desert. Soroth, Torok, Sean Chan blast off at the speed of the return.
Surrender now, or prepare to fight.
Or prepare to suck on the Empress's horn.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, God.
Dude, like
Holy
the
shit.
Finn are basically just like Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan,
Bruh,
I mean,
or
Eh,
one of the new ones that aren't. One of the new
mean-
ones that aren't. You know.
They're like the useful versions of like Ekans and Wobbuffet. Well, no, because like the original Team Rocket leader Giovanni, doesn't he have like a 9? Yeah, he has a 9-tails that's pretty powerful.
yeah. I don't know. Look, the Sean Chan is now. The Sean Chan are now Team Rocket. In my head canon, going to other dimensions. They've got a Terangrial that takes them to other mirror worlds. Where
Think
they
about it. When is the one time Jesse and James decide they're going to leave Ash alone? When the fate of the world in Pokemon 2000, when the fate of the world depends on it, and they help him out, just like the Sean Chan put it aside for Tarmogaiden. They're the same people.
Shit, we cracked it. That letter is in the mail.
Robert Jordan was a huge Pokemon fan before Pokemon came out. Actually, no, it was
ahead of
out.
his time.
It was out. It was red or blue. It was just red or blue.
It was still Pocket Monsters, I think.
Who's that Pokemon? It's Shreddit.
It's the Empress. May she live forever.
The Empress. Look, it's a Pokemon.
Go, my blood knives. Catch it. Catch it with your teeth.
A TikTok that was going around that was like, tell me you're old without telling me you're old. And then I did one and it was like, oh, hey, you want to play Pokemon? Do you have red or blue?
Yellow.
Yeah, well, yellow.
You want to battle?
When I was a kid.
You want to battle? Go get your link cable.
Oh my God. Dude. Saturday mornings at the game store, baby. What's your highest Pokemon? Yeah, well, I got a 99 Blastoise.
I got an Onyx with steel coat, and I really want to get a Steelix. Will you help me out?
Felix didn't exist. Okay?
Well, I mean, yeah, this was like
You damn kids
the
today and
next
your
gen.
Pokemans.
Shut up.
Can
This
I
was
just
like
say-
Generation 2, and Generation 2
Back
deserves
in my
some
day,
respect.
we had 151 Pokemans. That was it. And we liked it. That's all we needed.
And we were goddamn thankful to have
We were
151.
thankful to have them.
We should only had 150, but those sons of bitches at the lab made Mewtwo, that abomination.
Oh, is it a 152 then? Because there was missing
Mewtwo.
number.
Come
No,
on,
the
the
original
unknown?
game had a glitch. You could catch an
Yeah,
additional-
that's just a glitch. Like, that's
Yeah,
not
it's-
an actual
that's-
It
Pokemon.
still
Pokemon.
counts.
It's just a glitch.
No, it
But
doesn't.
you could catch him.
Yeah.
Missing
There's
numbers.
a lot of shit you could do in those old games. In Pokemon Silver, I used to duplicate my level 100 freaking Cyndaquil. Or whatever, Typhlosion. The Max Evolve one. I had an entire 6-party team of the exact same clone Cyndaquil or Typhlosion or whatever it was.
Never.
That shit
would
was
I have
annoying
thought
whenever I beat the Elite Four again and it just sat there and showed the same fucking Pokemon over and over again 6 times.
I would be on a Wheel of Time podcast talking about Pokemon, but we did it.
We did it. We
We
did
did
it.
it.
Pokeballs are just Terangrial from a mirror world containing all of the Shan animals.
There
Fuck
it
yeah.
is. Digimon, yeah, all of them. All
And
of them.
who would have
Mirror
thought?
worlds.
You know how much more successful
There's the
Simrog would have
tie-in.
been if the Shan had brought back one Master Ball instead of that male Adam that they had? Imagine catching the Dragon Reborn in a Master Ball.
Dude!
Imagine setting Charizard and just say go.
Bruh.
Charizard, use burn every fucking thing you
Charizard would have destroyed the White Tower.
see. Right? Well,
Is Ash the dragon of his age? Oh.
final thoughts when it comes to
Who wins? Ogier?
the Finn and the
Finn.
Ogier. Who
Hey, we
wins?
kept the fight concept from the thumbnail. It was just a completely different battle. This is what happens. Like Sindal is what happens when an Ogier and a Finn lock eyes. There's no getting out of it now. You're a fellow trainer. It's
Okay.
time to battle.
Can I make a request though?
Yeah.
You guys got to do an epic rap battle of history of Ogier versus Finn.
Maybe that'll be our Watt idol.
Bruh. Instead of Hyper Beam, Charizard learned Balefire.
Oh no. Master Ballers for the Dragon. All right, so
Rand doesn't like being in a Pokeball.
Random Pokeball. There it is. There it is. I want to be the very best. We could do that Wheel of Time.
Fucking poor dragon by the time Elaine's done. She's like, it's time to go again. And he's just like, there's no PP left for that move.
Oh, that's an old reference too. Kids today don't get that.
You think kids today don't run out of PP? That's weird.
PowerPoints, baby. You need them. All right. Ogier versus Finn. Based on everything we've discussed. Super relevant non-topic.
Who do you think was the
Wolfbrother.
Pokemon League champion?
Wolfbrother. Wrap it up. Bring it right back. Give us your final thoughts. Make it look pretty. Make it smell nice. Make me want to open it on Christmas morning and not be disappointed.
Ogier have the passion and the power, but the Finn feed off of it, right? That's why they've learned to be subdued and take life, a little bit at a time. Don't put too much into it. Yes, they can be persuaded to passion. They can fucking tear it up. But I don't know. I think the Finn have the upper hand. They tricked them. They got them off of their world. I mean, the foxes are the eelfin, right? They kind of seem pretty powerful compared to any other being that we've met. I mean, they grant wishes, like
Extremely so, yeah.
pretty powerful. And then the eelfin, like seeing the future, right? That's basically well, I don't know. Is it just limited to the future? But they have all the knowledge, and so
I mean, if
it's kind
time's
of
a
hard to beat
circle
that.
and you can see in the future, you can go far enough where you see into the past. Because it's like a circle.
And then you're looking at your own ass.
I look so
I don't know.
far forward in
think-
time, I stare at my own butthole.
I think the Finn had the upper hand, but their boon to themselves was that they're trapped on their own world. So
I like it.
I like it.
I
Oh, man.
I gotta say, I love where you're going with that, and I'm gonna go right there too. You know, if we're just given like a tail of the tape, it comes down to brute force, which is what the Ogier are gonna have because they're not fighters. They do prefer to be passive and healers and gardeners and
singers.
but the Finn have an ability to not have empathy for their prey, if that makes any sense. They don't have to be sad that they're hurting people, which makes them very dangerous. They also can't channel, but they also have unsung amazing abilities with the one power in such that they're able to easily craft extremely intricate, powerful, and amazing items of the power. And I think that's pretty interesting. So if we're going to go toe to toe, I think the Finn are going to take it pretty easily.
That's fair. Hmm. I think I'm gonna give it to the Ogier because I think absent of the ability to prey on other people. So like if the Ogier kind of like laid siege tactics to the Finn and were able to block them off from like Randland or any human realm where they could feed, the Ogier would simply outlast them. Like, and they have the longevity, they have the memory, they have the intellect, they have the skill set to do it. I mean, they can sing stone and trees into fantastical constructs that look like they were born straight out of nature. I mean, who's to say that they don't just like every time the Finn, maybe create a new doorway, they just don't take the doorway and drag it into like a waygate, for instance, in Randland, and just leave it in the ways. Like just dump it over the side of one of the walkways in the ways. Like easy.
Yeah.
Actually, there. Problem solved. All the dangerous shit, like don't throw the Adam in the fucking random trench in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah,
Throw it off the edge in the ways. Like just do that. But I think the Ogier have the resilience and the strategy capacity to basically, if they can't overpower the Finn outright, because the Finn are definitely far more agile. They have the agility, they have the speed. There's a chance that they have the numbers because it does seem like there's a lot of Finn running around in Sindal in the towers versus the Ogier running around in the steadings. There's still a lot, but I think that the Ogier ultimately could win they could play the long game and win.
That's great.
We'll sing.
Dude, that's another reason why they don't like the Ogier, because the Ogier sing and singing to music to the
dazzle.
Finn dazzles and kind of
Yeah.
dulls them, right?
Ooh.
Oh man, there's so much more to talk about with this.
Well, comment below if you want to see us do a part 2 because I'm in agreement here. This is great.
What are your thoughts? Who do you like as the initial? All right, let's do a couple. Who do you think wins in a fight between the Finn and the Ogier? That's question 1. Assuming that they interact with each other, who do you think would be the primary aggressor or fighter? Do you think the Finn would attack the Ogier initially, or do you think the Ogier would have attacked the Finn?
Who wins?
What do you think?
You decide.
You decide.
Epic Randland battles of history.
Mitt Romney versus the Finn.
Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Thanks everybody for being awesome. Thanks to all of our patrons who joined us live. If you also want to be a patron and join us live, you know what to do. Go to blacktowerpod.com and go to our Patreon, and you can support us for less than $1 a month. That's how.
And then
we'd
you
love
can
it.
hang out with us in chats in the Discord, because frequently we will chat after recording
Like
in the Discord,
tonight.
and you can tell us right then and there how incredibly right we were and how wrong you've always been about your thoughts about the Wheel of Time in your life.
I'm sure
That's
that happens
definitely how it goes.
frequently.
Do it.
But from all of us here at the Black Tower Podcast, Wolf, thank you so much for taking time out of your day, setting everything up, and coming to join us to talk about everything from just maybe where did the Finn and Ogier come from, all the way to Shreddit being from Pokeballs in a mirror world.
Thank you for having me. Had a blast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
I've been your Baj Mahale. My name is Andrew.
I'm the Sora Van Mahale, and I'm Josh. And we thank you for joining us, and we thank you for tuning in. We thank you for receiving your weekly dose of taint, because we know you need it, you tainty bastards. And we hope that when you leave here, you're just a little bit more insane than you were when you first got here.
You've been waiting for this moment, for this feeling to grow. In the shadows, always watching, always running the show.